Time to get our Mages Guild recommendation from the Forest City of Chorrol, where we'll find the Masters of Conjuration, an art that not only allows you to summon powerful allies, but also weightless weapons and armor. If you enter in from the north gate, it's just here to the right by the great oak tree. We want to connect with the Argonian mage, Teekeeus, who is typically downstairs throughout the day and goes to bed around 11 p.m.
If perhaps you can clear up a small matter involving Irana.
He talks to us about a bitter rival from his years in the Arcane University, not mentioning that their conflict escalated to the point that they both got expelled, which may be why he's working as head of the guild here. The woman, Irana, does not care for guild regulations, and was later excommunicated. Now she's in town for some unknown reason, and he would like us to discreetly look into it. If she's not just chilling outside chatting with every passerby, you can also find her at the Grey Mare.
Ah yes, you are a guild mage, are you not? There's a small matter with which you may be able to assist. Best if kept just between us, yes? All you need to do is fetch a book for me, Fingers of the Mountain. You'll find it at an old ruin called Cloud Top. It's north of Chorrol, up in the mountains. Make no mention of it to Teekeeus or anyone else in your guild. I will make it well worth your effort.
Oh, of course. So now we can report back.
What? Not only does it exist, but she knows where it is? That book needs to be in the safekeeping of the guild. Should you go looking for it, I hope that it would be for the sole purpose of bringing it here.
Note that this quest does not follow the typical naming convention and will appear in your journal as Fingers of the Mountain instead of Chorrol recommendation. To retrieve the book, we have to travel northwest up the mountain following the map markers, or according to the wiki, just heading left at any forks in the road. I'm not so sure if that's quite right, so I just did it the hard way. At the end of the path, we'll find a worn-down pillar with a charred corpse lying beside it. Searching it, we find a book completely unharmed, and possibly the cause of this unknown Anakin's demise. I found a book entitled Fingers of the Mountain. I need to deliver to either Irana at the Grey Mare in Chorrol, or to Teekeeus at the Chorrol Mages Guild. Who knows what she plans to do with this destructive text, but regardless of who you give it to, you will have one chance to change your mind, but you can't go back on it. It seems as though the right choice is to give this mysterious book back to the guild, which will cause Irana to freak and go into damage control.
You gave him the book! What were you thinking? And here I thought one of you guild mages might actually have a brain! All right. You'll have to get it back, that's all. You should be able to walk right in, find it, and take it.
Now you can only change your mind once, so if you agree to help her, it will kick off an additional quest creatively called Fingers of the Mountain Part 2 that will award you with a new spell, but one less fame point and maybe a little guilt if that matters to you. You must decide now, as you'll be locked in and cannot warn Teekeeus of her request.
Of course you will. Do whatever you must. I require that book as soon as possible.
If you choose to go rogue, head up to his room and retrieve the book from the chest by his bed. That is not even locked. Really? As soon as it's removed, he will instantaneously know of its disappearance.
Recently gone missing. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
Run!
Oh, wonderful. I'll just take this from you and get to work translating it. Come and find me tomorrow.
I simply waited until the next day, but if this doesn't work, try waiting a total of 25 hours and she should be done with her translation.
Hello, my little friend. I have something that might interest you. I took the time to write down a passage you might find useful. It contains instructions for acquiring a very special power. You'll want to read it carefully and then return to Cloud Top.
Reading her notes, we find that we need a shock spell, and it would be helpful if we have a Welkin stone on our person so we don't get as fried as the last guy. But it's not required. When we shoot our shock at the Iliad pillar, a flash of lightning strikes us, granting a new power aptly named Finger of the Mountain, which is actually a leveled spell. The highest master spell, gained at level 26+, will cause a shock damage of 200 points in 10 feet on target, but costs a whopping 3,551 magicka. Not particularly efficient if you ask me. If we attempt to create our own spell once we're accepted to the university, we can replicate this by creating a spell that does 100 points for 2 seconds on target, and it will only cost us 1,157 points. Of course, we need to pay actual septims to create it though. So if you decide to go the light side route and return the book to Teekeeus, you'll complete this quest way faster, and you can make a spell for 1/3 of the magic cost and name it whatever you want.